is going on, everybody? We are live. Let's make sure we can wait until we get a couple viewers. And we'll get started. We're going to be working on a Warcry Warband member for the Unmade. This is an awakened one with a spear. So last time we did one of these, we worked on this guy here. And now here's his buddy. So I'm going to paint him similar, but there's no guarantee it's going to be kind of the same exact look. And we're still not sure on that yellow helmet. But we'll leave him up there just so we have a little bit of a reference, I guess. And then that way we can just get started. What we'll try to do here is basically just kind of work through them, see if we can get them done in maybe an hour or so. I'm going to start off with the Sulphide Ochre from Army Painter. Going to be using some of the same colors that I used on the other guy. I wanted to do a yellow kind of warm color scheme for my warband. And I think this one came out pretty cool. It's not exactly what I thought it was going to be, but it's okay. We're going to make a little palette cup with distilled water and a couple drops of ultra matte AK varnish. You and Walker in the building, what's going on? It is 4:20 in the morning here. It's weird though, it's actually, in this sense, it's really early for me because I actually already slept. My sleep schedule's been a little wacky, so I just woke up like an hour ago. So I figured I'll do this and then maybe for an hour and a half. And then maybe I can go work out outside for like an hour. And then maybe if I get tired, I'll go back to bed. So there we go. We got some distilled water with some matte medium mixed in, matte varnish. I've actually just been kind of enjoying that. I enjoyed that when I did him, so I'm going to do it again. So I think we'll just base coat his little helmet. This is just that Sulphide Ochre. What are you working on tonight, Ewan? Oh, got a hair. I'm going to try to kind of keep the yellow parts about the same. That way they kind of match as far as a warband. But we'll just kind of do whatever on the skin and stuff. I picked up a bunch of the Ideneth Deepkin. So that'll be my next Warcry Warband at some point. I don't think I'll be necessarily in any crazy rush to get to working on them, but We're gonna need some various browns and stuff out here. We got burned flesh from Game Air. Nice. The Fantasy Norris Army. What game is that for? Oh, we should probably do a yellow streak down there. What? My paint's a little thin right now, but I'm just going to use this to kind of base coat his whole meat skirt. We'll adjust all these tones later, but I'm just going to try to block in. Let's go with some dark flesh tone as well. And I remember from the last time I worked on the other guy, this guy up here, it was a little bit of back and forth trying to get in these. Oh man, I'm gonna take him off real quick so I can just put this paint under here. But yeah, I was doing the other guy, and it's a little bit of back and forth because, you know, he's got a lot of cool details stuck together, and he's super dynamic posed. So you got to be kind of willing to just go back and forth. And then remember, you know, once you start putting on washes and stuff, a lot of these little minor things disappear. Plus, this is a warband. For myself, if I ever play in a Warcry event, I would love to say I have a chance at winning Best Painted with it, so I wanted to bring it to a nice level, but at the same time, it's likely there'll never be, well, I don't think I need to overly stress on it to try to compete for like a Best Painted. Just as long as I do a good job on all of them. And cool bases, you know, that's the best you could do. I think I might pull out a couple other flesh tones here. Oh, nice. I'm surprised they haven't redone the Norse team yet for Blood Bowl. I'm going to put a little German orange on my palette. I think we might mix some of that dark flesh tone, maybe some green, who knows. We're just making muddy browns. At this point, they don't mean much. Now that I took him off his base, he's gonna start sliding around. I'm trying to just cover up all the zenithal prime with some interesting colors. Maybe put some of that down there as well. This guy's actually wearing like a little shirt too. See there, he's got like a shirt on. So I don't know what we'll do with that yet. I know we want, maybe we'll put a touch of red on the palette too. So bloody red. That's, he has a skinned face and I can see a little bit of his jaw, so try to redden that up a bit before we paint the skin on. It's not doing anything. Okay, whatever. Alright, so we're just going to keep blocking in various things on him until we reach something we like. Trying to keep him in like warm tones. Maybe we'll even try, let's just get a bunch of browns over here. Take a little bit of Rhinox hide. Put that over here on the palette as well. Yeah, Norse Blood Bowl team, Amazon Blood Bowl team. It's really weird they came out with the Snotlings before the High Elves, Norse, Amazon, Chaos Dwarves, and whatever other ones that are still missing. Paint some of these little straps on them right now. Just doing them in Rhinox hide. I think actually that might be the only. Oh, you can kind of see his shirt. Actually, this might be a lady. I don't know. Yeah, this one might be a girl. Well, that's cool. Alright, so we're not getting totally inspired here and blocked in. Let's take a little bit of that orange, German orange, mix it with some of this Rhinox hide and see what we get. That's nice. Maybe we'll put that right here. Oh, gotta silence my Norton antivirus. Hold on 1 second. Jesus, I hate this antivirus BS. Doesn't make any noise until you start streaming. I don't know if you guys can actually hear that. Definitely need some more. Oh yeah, more time. Seems like you should play Warcry with your son. That's even simpler than more time. Yeah, with Blood Bowl, it seems like they're doing all the teams, but it just seems weird that they haven't like finished. Like the original teams. I would have definitely expected High Elves before Snotlings. They even still got, what, like 2 more undead teams to do. Khemri and the one with the werewolves. Necromantic, maybe? I don't think I like the straps on his face being this bright. Alright, so that's good. I think we'll put some pallid witch flesh out on the palette. That's the one we kind of use as our white. That way if we wanted to go up to pure white, we could. We'll also put some Indian shadow. Maybe a little dead flesh, which I think we actually have right there, but and we'll do some AK pure black. The colors I'm using don't really matter as much as I'm just creating weird browns, mixes, just muddy brown type colors. Yeah, I loved Age of Sigmar when it came out. It's what got me back into the hobby. I had moved back from Vegas, and my buddy and it's like, hey, you're back in town, come on down 4th of July to the game store. And Age of Sigmar had just come out, and I was like, oh wow, I got all my old Warhammer Fantasy models still in the closet at my parents' house. And the rules were free, so I was like, I'll come in and play. Could be fun. And then we were playing and, you know, trying to make it work. At the time, it was a bit, you know, DIY balancing because there was no rules for points or anything. It was kind of weird, and we were trying to figure it out and make it work, but we were having fun playing again. And then the first General's Handbook came out, and it was like a really good game. Now that it had points, hardly anybody, if anybody at the time, really even had a codex. And the actual army books, almost nothing was in them, really. There wasn't like, I don't even think there was magic items or anything yet. And we had quite a bit of fun then. Then they just dogpiled more and more crap onto the game. Stacking of bonuses and more. They fixed summoning and then they added it back in like it was better to have it in. I don't know. It just, I cannot find any love of Sigmar anymore at all. Game seems terrible. And I've been curious because I still watch some Sigmar content, like people on podcasts or whatever talking about it. And I always just wonder, like, maybe there's something wrong with me why I don't like it. Like, maybe it's fun and I'm just doing it wrong. But because there's quite a few people that play, but it feels bad. Like, the game just feels bad. Every time I finish playing, it seems like that wasn't fun at all. But I like 40k, even though I don't play it. You know, I'm not playing it every week or nothing. But I do have a lot of 40k stuff. I'm just mixing up some kind of generic flesh tones here to try and block in some of her outfit. I don't even know what I'm saying, not outfit, but some of her skin here. That way we can get a idea of what it's going to look like when everything's a little more complete. Trying to focus on just creating, spikes in the way. Just creating interesting shifts in her skin, trying to work the highlights a little bit more towards the top volumes. Yeah, I went to the game store and picked up a bunch of Deepkin for a Warcry Warband and some other stuff, like the Warcry monsters and stuff. And I kind of want to go back and buy some more, even though obviously I haven't even built or painted or anything of the new stuff I got. But just having the game store open again. Oh, work's calling. All right. Have a good night, man. Take care. But yeah, it was fun going in and buying up some Warhammer again. I'm looking for my metal paint that I like. There we go, jet exhaust. Somehow I totally missed. I'm gonna just block in the metallics just so we can see what she's gonna be looking like once we move on to the finishing stages. I think I maybe spent a little long on that one. It came out good. Maybe not long per se, but you know, making tiny little slight adjustments on things. And I don't know if that's necessary. These models aren't super huge, and they're literally the minimum point cost in this group. They're only like 60 point models. So they're the chaff. So probably don't need to spend quite as much time on them as I did on the first one. So we're trying to speed through it a little bit quicker this time. Although I don't think that one particularly took all that long. But yeah, right now at this stage, it's kind of just about blocking in everything. We're going pretty old school with it as far as Well, we're trying to do kind of newer, cool hatch mark kind of highlights and stuff when we get to that stage. But kind of a old school or whatever approach of like base coat, wash, highlight. We'll just make the highlights interesting. So eventually we'll cover this whole character in Agrax Earthshade to like reinforce the shadows, and that's what we did on the other one and it worked pretty good. Because there's a lot of little details that are kind of squished in on these dynamic poses. And there's kind of squished in. I mean, they're really, really nice details, but you know, it's a tiny little human. And there's some ways we can get some striking visual interest with some highlighting and stuff that we don't necessarily have to stress on all the tiny details. I think I might have to turn the fan on in a little bit. It's getting warm in here already. Eric Jackson in the building. What's going on? Welcome. Welcome, Eric, to the stream. Did you go to Outpost yet, Eric? Did you go buy some stuff? Finish your scouts? Oh, also, did you sell your unit to that one guy? I went over to Outpost on Friday. I was like the second one there waiting for them to open the doors and spent like $300 or something. A good trip to the game store. Alright, now we just gotta get our shackles. I feel like the settings on my stream here are pretty good tonight or this morning. Looks like a pretty good image on my computer. For some reason it doesn't save though when I like turn off the computer, so I have to try to set it up every time. That's why there's little differences each time. I might have to write down the numbers I used in this setting because I think it looks pretty good. Oh, you're going to bed? I actually fell asleep already and I'm just woke up at like 2 or 3 or whatever, so I'm probably up for the day, at least, or hoping I can just be up for a while and then take a nap and then go back on a slightly normal sleep schedule. That's the goal. All right, we need to get the meat on the chest piece. Use this kind of green flesh, I guess. It's too thin, though, is the problem. The wet palette, I added more water, but now all my paint's too thin on it, so it sucks. I might have to get a little piece of paper towel over here to actually wick my brush. Yeah, these little faces that are on their chest, it's their face that they tore off or cut off. But when you're trying to reach them, if you paint it like this after you already built the model, it's such a small detail you can't even see it. So I don't think I'm going to waste too much time on trying to get it looking good. Maybe we'll put a little pallid witch flesh in there, try to lighten that area up. And we still got to do the shirt. I didn't have any plans for what their shirt would look like. I would do yellow, but it doesn't make sense to do a yellow shirt with a yellow strap going right over it, so I got to choose something else. Canonlo, what's going on? Welcome. Have a good night, Eric. Yeah, so this is the second one we're working on. This is one this one we did on stream. It's basically finished, except I am going to go in and pick out all the little stitching between the skin on his like skin skirt. So, you know, I think I might go with like a purple shirt on this guy here. So let's do that. But not just like a normal purple. Maybe like a more neutral purple. Do we own? What kind of purples do we own here? Ooh. Alright. So I'm going to put a little bit of the Game Color Royal purple on the palette. And we're going to use that to mix some kind of weird purple. And I think I'm going to mix it here with this like Indian shadow color. Try to make it not just pure purple, but take a little Rhinox hide in there too. There we go, kind of a dark neutral purple. And it looks like that's going to be the shirt. Actually kind of hard to tell where this shirt is on some of these areas. Which actually seems a little rare for the newer Games Workshop models. Usually their details are really, really well defined. But these ones are a little more maybe realistic in the sense that they're not super over exaggerated. Oh, that might be a strap there. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to sneeze. Ooh. Sorry about that. All right, so looks like pretty good. I think that shirt's going to be okay with that kind of purple because once we highlight all the skin up to like a pale color, then the dark shirt will pop good. I think that might, we should do something here. Maybe I'll take some of this red and maybe some of that pallid witch flesh, make some kind of peach color down here. Put it right on this piece. Yeah, I'm not really happy at all with the, like, I guess to make it look more horrifying, they have like their helmet and then like pieces of skin maybe holding like a metal bottom jaw to make it look like they have a really big mouth. But I'm not sure what to do with that. But I think what we're actually going to do now is just probably Agrax Earthshade the whole thing and then just build all the highlights right on top. I think it's about ready for that. So we just got to let it dry for a second. Let's see what's going on. What are you working on tonight, Cannon? And then let's see who's next. Next up. Oh, sorry, hit the camera. Is this guy. We're going to do this guy next with the flail. And then this guy, I'm actually going to cut the tip of his spear off and turn this into another flail. I have some old Marauder flails. So that way we'll have 2 spear guys and 2 flail guys instead of 3 and 1. So I'm definitely using that face where he's showing his skinned face. But yeah, you can see the shirt and everything. Just I'm gonna maybe move this guy a little bit out of the way. That way. Well, we still want him to be in the camera though. Just in case he falls over or something, I don't want to have to repaint him. So the next step's going to be Agrax Earthshade. Everybody's familiar with that. If you've watched any of the other streams, Cannon, let me know what you think of how it looks tonight. I feel like it looks better than normal. I think I might have got some camera settings right this time. Alright, Agrax Earthshade. We'll just use the big GW wash brush. I'm still really torn on what to do on these helmets. I think the yellow helmets are okay. I just don't think they're adding like a ton of interest. But maybe that's fine. I don't know really if any other color would be so magically better. And I don't think anybody's gonna have yellow ones. So it'll be pretty unique, I guess. Gotta make sure we really get quite a bit of wash in the area here where all the details kind of block each other and mix together, and because that way we'll make that as shadowy as possible because we don't want to have to worry too much about highlighting all that, reaching our brush in there and trying to get those little details. And I definitely want to try to put a lot of wash on the underneath part of his skirt or her skirt, because I'd like to just keep that dark. And dirty up our weapon. I like this tactic or strategy or technique where you kind of base coat everything in kind of, you know, neutrals. Nothing was, even the yellow is like this mustard ochre color. The purple I used, I made like a gray, dark purple. So you're basically making a lot of like earth tone, neutral colors. And then wash it in Agrax Earthshade, which is also a neutral kind of brown. So everything about him is, or her, is pretty brown and dull because it's all these lifelike kind of neutral colors. And then we'll use our highlights to make things pop from the neutral kind of surroundings. And it'll work pretty good, I think. It worked okay on the other one. I'm happy with it. I think we could even go a little more vibrant, but these guys are really pretty evil, chaos cultist type characters, so probably don't need to be too lovey-dovey with them. We'll put a little Tuscarora fur out on our palette. I'm going to put it up here. And I think we're going to need more of this pallid witch flesh. And we need to introduce a blue because it's nice. Actually, I think this is still wet. Yeah, it's still wet. So that way we can have some warm and cool flesh tones. And maybe we'll start with the... That might be too much paint on our brush there. And I'm just going right over it, even though the Agrax Earthshade obviously isn't dry yet. It's funny when you watch a video by like Games Workshop's painting studio, or even Duncan, now that he's doing his own videos, he's like, put a wash on and then wait 30 minutes for it to dry. And then the next step is like, now base coat this. And then put a wash on and wait 30 minutes for it to dry. It's like, geez, you do 5 minutes of painting and then wait 30 minutes every other step? Doesn't make any sense. It's okay for paint to be blending together naturally. That's why oil paintings look cool. Oh, got a little bit on a spear there. So there we go. We got a nice kind of highlight built in here. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we'll start playing a little bit, I think, with the temperature. So I think I'm going to introduce some more of these kind of red skin tones near his hands. Fingers. Elbows. Knees. Ankles. Anywhere a bone is pushing up against the skin. Knuckles. Maybe the wrist bone a little bit. Definitely the thumb. And then hopefully gives us just a nice hint of like blood flow in the body. Maybe we'll even go a little heavy on the blue. Not sure if that part of the palette's on camera. Go a little bit heavy on the blue for like a extra highlight. Oh, that might be a little too blue. Try to feather it out a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. It's okay. I don't know if it's the right value, but we can work on it a little bit. We'll let it sit though and see if we like it. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of variation in the flesh tone, maybe even a slightly yeah, this part right here, this big meat, kind of meaty part on the back, doesn't look great. I think my problem is I went a little too bright on the first step here. But it's not terrible. We just need to figure out this area. Let's see if we can't. Maybe we can darken it with a little Rhinox hide. Yeah, I think that actually looks quite a bit better. Can also take a little bit of like Agrax Earthshade and mix it in with our flesh tone if we want, and then we can kind of paint it on because the flesh tone is somewhat naturally mixed with the Agrax wash. Now I'd like to get a kind of a brighter touch of a highlight. It's still wet with Agrax, but oh, if I could get it just deep in there. Okay. Cool. We need more red on our palette. See if we can't use some of this red and really bring out that mouth, that shredded mouth. That's all right. Not great. Maybe we can use some of the flesh. Might not even be a bad idea to use like blood for the blood god, because it is like a skinned face under there. Now I think we'll take a little bit of extra purple into our mix here. Getting really, really runny with my paint tonight. I'm just gonna introduce a bit more purple onto this shirt. There you go, got kind of a little purple on the shirt. Maybe we'll take some of this kind of gray blue with the purple here. My way, way, way too thin purple. Put a little highlight. No, that doesn't look good. I need to put a really dark line. So I'm going to do a black mixed with Rhinox hide. See if we can't put a nice separation line. There we go. That's a little better. Need to try and separate this shirt from the skin. And then actually maybe put that line down there too to separate that strap from the purple shirt as well. Kind of an old black lining style. But some of those details are just getting a little too softly smushed together, so I'll put a shadow in the armpit there. Cool. Just trying to reinforce some shadows. Cast shadows is what we're trying to paint in. Cast shadows are when the object is overlapping another object. So it should be a pretty dark line. The reason I went for a black-brown and not black is because black might look a little comic book style or cartoony. And actually, I think I need to maybe do this. Oh, maybe I did it on him. Yeah, I did it on him a little bit. Thought I remember missing. Oh, jeez. My glove got stuck to his spear. I thought I remember missing a little bit on him, but it looks like I probably got it. Alright, cool. Oh, actually, we'll put a little bit of that under the helmet here. D, what's going on? Paintbrush business is going good. The new orders for the Kickstarter haven't arrived yet, for the dry brush Kickstarter. The factories say there's, you know, everything's working, but it does seem like, almost seems like there's a little bit of a delay that they're not telling me about. I still have a bunch of the, you know, the rounds in stock from previous orders. But waiting on the newest Kickstarter order to, well, plan is to start fulfilling that next month. But I don't have them in hand yet. If anybody's still watching, I'd appreciate any kind of thumbs up, or I think it helps the stream. I'm going to make like a red scar tissue color here. I don't think we went quite red enough maybe on the other one. Not that the scars have to be super red, but it's more so they stand out a little bit. Got a little bit of, we need to bring back some separation between these scars. My legs on my model don't feel great. Or the feet, but I think he's going to be slopping around in some kind of blood pool. So hopefully it won't be that noticeable anyway. think that's pretty good. Maybe we can reintroduce a little bit of... I kind of want to... You know, let's go a little bit... Maybe add a little bit of yellow to that purple. Make like a neutral gray. No. It's not working. Doesn't look right. Man, I keep just failing miserably on this purple shirt. Let's just ignore it for a little while. Maybe we'll go to some of this yellow. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe with the yellow being a little brighter, the purple shirt kind of fades back the way we want it a little bit. No, that's not correct. Put back in some of these metals that got paint on them. Damn it. I'm missing. My accuracy of my brush is bad right now. Getting a little irritating when you miss over and over again. I think it's because I had some caffeine. Smoke Eagle, what's going on? Yeah, I'm actually, DD, I went to bed like at 8 o'clock, so I'm actually awake as if it's morning instead of normally where I'm just haven't gone to bed yet. But I don't think I didn't get like a full 8 hours of sleep, so I could probably use a bit more. Thinking the plan is I'll paint and then go work out outside, and then come home, shower, eat, work on the Kickstarter. And then maybe take a nap in the middle of the day. And maybe that'll help get my sleep schedule a little more normal. At this point, it's probably good enough, really. That makes kind of a weird dark purple tone down here and see if we can't fix these parts we don't like on our purple shirt. Yeah, I think we're about done. Just a little bit of weathering on... Oh, we gotta fix that. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. But whatever it is, I don't want it to be that. Pick out a little bit of highlights on the... like, skins. See if we can't just make some kind of generic fleshy highlight. Just making kind of random dark neutral colors. Just basically been what we were doing this whole time. Maybe we'll make kind of a yellower one too. Just noticed we got a weird take our Rhinox hide and a little bit of black again. Try to put a dark line there. Actually, we need it here too. There we go, get rid of that. Maybe take a little bit of this flesh kind of tones. See if we can't clean that up a little bit. Nope, we cannot. I'm just painting over what I just did. Go back with the... It's like they didn't sculpt the thing overlapping his knee quite enough, so you gotta kind of paint it in if you want it to look good. Looks pretty good though. Oh, we gotta do something with the flesh. Oh, that might be too bright. Damn it. Oops. Looks like we got a little bit that we got to clean up there. Cool. Maybe a little bit of a highlight on this part. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think we're pretty happy with that. Only thing I'm not really happy with is this underneath jaw area. Maybe we can make a red wash and just... I think that area might need a little bit of blood effects though. It's just not quite the bloody look I was wanting. Or maybe some wash on it. Actually, there's probably a little bit of skin tone that needs to be just picked out a touch. I'll make a real muted version though, right in here. That's probably why that shirt isn't breaking up enough, because there's supposed to be a little more skin below it too. Cool. All right, I think that's about good. Let's just double check on this other guy. We'll have to dry brush. Oh, I'll do a wash on him too. I just want to double check I have dark enough lines separating some of these details. Super unnecessary, probably. I mean, those things aren't details most people are going to notice, but... Oh, thanks. The yellow is... I've actually been playing with just this. It's Sulphide Ochre. It's got almost like a mustard color. But if you've watched the stream before when I did this guy, or the one tonight, I don't know how much you caught, but basically what I'm doing is I'm making a lot of kind of neutral, I mean, these are all the colors I've used on them, right? So they're all neutral browns and pinks and gray pinks and gray browns and green browns. So every color on here is pretty much like a dark neutral. Even the purple, I kind of mixed it with brown and yellow to gray it out. Maybe a little black too, I don't remember. But so it almost makes this yellow look more yellow because it's actually a little bit brighter, even though it's not yellow. Like if I was using Flash Gets Yellow, it would look crazy yellow. And if I wanted to go like non-metallic metal or something, I could even start mixing this into it to make really sparkly highlights. But my idea was that they were going to be kind of mustard yellow. But the helmets, I don't know, seem like they could maybe use another highlight. Actually, I keep catching my thumb or my finger on the hook of that spear. I think this lady here, I think it's a lady, could actually even use a little more yellow on her back strap here. Trying to brighten that up a little bit. Maybe this one in here too. But yeah, I think that's about done. I gotta try and... Oh, what did I do there? Hold on. Got a little bit of weird coloration on the knee that I think I want to try and just... I'll use like a thin, generic kind of flesh tone. I'm just going to basically glaze that area. Try to make it not as noticeable. And yeah, so I still got to highlight the stitching on both of their like meat cloaks. I also think just by mixing my colors, you know, it's a good strategy, but you just mix your skin tones and whatever at random. And by doing so, you know, he's got a kind of bluer gray skin tone and she's kind of got a pinker skin tone. So they look maybe a little more individualized, but it's all the same colors I'm using. I'm just mixing different, you know, different amounts of colors. I think I added a couple more colors onto the... Yeah, for sure. I added a couple more colors onto the palette this time. Like Rhinox Hide, German Orange. But, so that's where... Oh, I need to... There's a little... I still want to do... Maybe put a little edge highlight there. The strap's hanging down on her face. I still would like to do something to. Maybe we'll paint some like little lines in them. Let's see. Any advice to get a nice fine tip on your brushes? So you just... I always use my mouth. And some people use their mouth to actually like remove paint from the brush and then use like the damp brush to feather. I never do that ever. But after I rinse it in my water cup, I'll basically make... I don't know how to describe it. Make like a little O with your mouth, like you're going to whistle. And kind of put the brush in your mouth and... So it'd be like that. And then pull it out. If you don't want to put the paintbrush in your mouth, it's hard with the gloves, but when you squeeze your hand like this, there should be like a crease right there. Or there probably is. You can point it in there. Without gloves, it'd be a little easier to see, but I wear the gloves just so it's easier for you guys to watch on camera. I think we're pretty happy with that. Still don't know about that little bottom jaw. I'm going to hit it with dark rust wash. I'll just use this. I'm just going to hit all the metals with this. And this whole thing I actually did in the size 4 ghost brush here. The entire model on this stream. I'm gonna rust wash our... Oh, we got a little... Well, we'll fix that after. I got some skin tone on that metal there, but... Maybe a little too much right there in his hand, but we'll fix that later. And then when this dries, I'll dry brush like a little bit of silver over top of it just to kind of simulate a sparkly glimmer of the metal. Maybe there's a highlight. Should we got a lot of flesh tone on his shoulder pad spikes. They really got in the way, I guess, while we were painting. We'll make sure we fix that with the highlight. That's good. All right, so he's maybe rinse off the brush and maybe try to move around the rust wash a little bit with a damp brush. I kind of like how they look like the kind of rust wash weapon with the dry brush silver over top. Almost has like a look of like they pulled it out of a fence or something. Although this one's way rustier, but it should look more like this after the dry brush. But yeah, so I think we got 2 of them done. I'm still brainstorming the bases a bit. Trying to come up with something really cool. Let me move them to the side. So my thought on the basing for these is like these kind of weaker chaff guys are going to be like kind of sloshing through. I'm thinking like blood. So like maybe a river of blood or a toxic blood pool. So they'll be a little more sloshing around in it. And then like you see the way he's jumping off something. I'm going to build them up maybe like they're standing on little things above, so there'll be some blood on their bases, and then the leader will be maybe standing on a platform above it, so it's almost like the tallest character standing above the river of blood, and they're kind of standing above it, and then they're kind of running through it. Kind of my thought. Don't know how well it's going to work. But I think it could be cool. Try to keep the blood effects mostly just on the base and maybe on the feet a little bit. And not all over the model. Because if you put a whole bunch of blood on the model, it could look pretty crazy and ruin all your work. So I think that is... Oh, that's also why I have them with the paper clip drilled in their foot. And they're on these bases. Or these like wooden handles and poster tack. Because I want to be able to matte coat these guys. And I don't... Ooh, I think her helmet actually looks better than his. Maybe I'll put a little... Sorry, sidetracked. I'm going to put a little more yellow on his helmet. I want to matte coat them with the Ultra Matte. And I've been mixing... There's in this water cup here, there's Ultra Matte varnish plus water. So that's what's keeping them kind of matted while I work. But I do want to spray them with the Ultra Matte varnish. And that means I want to keep that separate than the blood effects. If I do decide to go with that on the base. Because you don't want to matte down blood effects or it's not going to look glossy like wet blood. It's just going to look like they're running through a red paint, dried red paint. Yeah, I think by doing the bases too separate, I mean, I'll know if I like them before I've fully committed, right? I could do all the bases and then decide after, like, you know, I don't really like this. I could redo them, or before they're actually glued onto it. So, all right, I guess that's it for tonight. I gotta build another one of these if I want to have another one to paint. The terrain I oil washed is, I'd say, definitely dry already, but I'm gonna let it go probably. Maybe I might matte varnish it later today, or I might wait one more day just to be 100% sure. But I use so much mineral spirits that it's basically completely dried and evaporated. You could see, like, here my mix of my oil wash, like the mineral spirits separates, and you know, this would have started to evaporate out, obviously, and all the pigment sitting at the bottom. So that's what's on my model, except all of that is in a really thin layer and would be evaporating out, which it is. So it's sitting over on a cardboard box, letting that dry. And I don't know, I think maybe before we go back to the terrain, let me get these guys out of the way. They're a little spindly. I think what I'll do is probably do 2 more, these 2, and then go back to the terrain. So that way I'm about halfway through. And then the plan is I'll convert this guy to be one of these. So I'll have 2 guys with spears, 2 guys with flails. That'll make me have 2 joyous ones, 2 ascended ones, and then 1 blissful one. And then I bought some of the allies, the Minotaur guy and the Crusher guy. And so that should cover me for a pretty cool Chaos Warband. I was going to buy a second box of them. I might still do it. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I'm going to. I don't know. But, you know, there's some builds where you could, you know, you take one of him or her, maybe one of them or 2 of them, or whatever, and then you take a bunch of them as like a little horde build. But I also bought a bunch of Idoneth Deepkin models. I bought a Start Collecting, I bought a box of archers, I bought some of their characters that can be used in Warcry, and I got 3 eels that are in the Start Collecting box. So I think, honestly, this warband, the Chaos Warband, I'll just probably build it out of this one box. You can make 1,000 points. This box comes out to be 1980 points, but this guy is 20 points more than this guy. So if you make him into him, so you have 2 of them, it's an exact 1,000 point list right out of the box. So I think I might just, I don't know. I have to probably read the campaign rules. I don't know if you can go above 1,000 points in a game. If you can get more than 1,000, maybe I'll think about adding a couple more, another box, so I can make some more chaff guys, or just focus on maybe trying to add in some of the ally. I think you can only have 1 ally though. But my thought on that was, with the Deepkin, now that I bought a whole bunch of them, I have, you know, pretty much everything to make all kinds of different warbands. You know, Horde of Thralls, Horde of Archers, 3 eels and some guys if I wanted. And so maybe they'll be my warband that I mix and match a little bit more, and this will be my just kind of set, cool Chaos Warband. I don't know. I'll decide. It was fun going to the game store Friday and buying up some miniatures again now that the game store is open again. So it was pretty cool to be able to go in and buy some stuff, and now I kind of want to go back and buy some more. It was a 5-person only allowed in the store at a time, so I kind of felt rushed. Like, you know, you wanted to browse around and buy all your stuff, but at the same time there's at least 10 people waiting to get in, so didn't want to just lollygag and hang out too long. But yeah, I think that's about it for tonight, or this morning. It's 6 o'clock. I think I'm going to try to work out for like an hour. try to get some exercise in outside. Maybe when the I don't know. I'll have to check if the sun's out yet. Maybe walk over to the park and do some burpees or push-ups or something in the grass. Try to get some vitamin D. So thank you guys so much for watching. This was a pretty fun one. I think we actually knocked that guy out in about an hour. We've been kind of chit-chatting a little bit, but that's not bad. I think it came out pretty good. Let's give it one last look, and then I'm going to shut it down. So, I mean, I got to dry brush the metals, bring back some of the... But yeah, I'm thinking that's pretty good for about an hour here. Still not 100% sure on those flaps hanging from her helmet, or that little jaw underneath. Oh well. It's probably best to just move on with my life. Maybe at the very end, when they're all done, all 9 or 10 of them here, maybe at the very end I go back and decide if I want to make any finishing touches to help tie the warband together. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I think I'm going to save, if anybody's hasn't hit like, please do. Also, if you've watched some of the previous streams and thought this stream looked better, please let me know, because I think I might save the settings. Write them down. It doesn't seem like it'll save them, but maybe I can write them down. That way I can set it up like this again, because I feel like this one maybe looked a little better than normal. So thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody take care. I'll see you in the comment section. And if you have any Warcry videos or any content you want me to check out, let me know. Peace.